And as promised, this is part two of Nancy Grace Diddy Party Cocktail. Diddy, man, it just keeps getting worse. Now, I just saw a video where they said Diddy blackmailed the first judge in his case, and that's why the black judge who was supposed to be his judge is no longer his judge. We'll get to that. Let's continue with Nancy. Nancy, let's go.
Get all of our
and to love, which Cottom now calls a psychopath move to get ahead of the allegations he knew were coming.
Please join us on our mission to find missing people, especially children, to solve unsolved homicides.
Diddy,
if you're on the
Diddy,
go,
Diddy.
catch us on your favorite
Do it?
podcast
Yes.
app, where you can get all of our content, where we, in our own way, seek justice.
Reports are circulating that a video depicting sex acts between Sean Diddy Combs and a younger male A-list celebrity is being shot to several outlets. Sources close to the A-lister say it's triggering, resurfacing disturbing memories for the star. Those who have seen the video claim it clearly shows both Combs and...
You know what? And this is on the subject of Diddy. It's not in this video. Then I just heard another report of Diddy had some girls at one of his parties, and one of the girls didn't want to cooperate in the Sin Festival that he was trying to have. So he played her like Suge Knight and hung her over a balcony. You got major issues, bro. Major issues, and it's all caught up to you.
in the A-listers' faces, and it does not appear the celebrity pictured with Combs realizes they are being recorded.
Wow. A celebrity A-lister, a young male, claiming that the Diddy indictments and all the media swirling around those indictments is, quote, triggering him, a young male. This as Sean Combs' mother drops a bombshell, seemingly blaming the feds for her son's allegations and the alleged victims.
And on his mother, I don't know if any of you guys saw this, but I think it's weird when he was sitting in the video talking about how him and his mother were getting hydrated after they partied. And he kissed her on the lips, but it seemed like it was a bit much, that type of a kiss for your mother. Diddy, you are a super douchebag, and maybe your mama too. And now mama is being delusional, blaming your issues on the feds. Nancy, continue.
Blaming the feds and the victims, referring to the indictment as a so-called lynching.
Oh.
But first, back to the young male A-list celeb. We keep hearing and seeing Justin Bieber's name and photo attached to Diddy. He is a husband and a new father. I'm sure he does not want to be attached to Sean Puffy Combs. Listen.
Justin Bieber's long relationship with Diddy is being examined under a new light since the disturbing allegations against Sean Combs. Friends close to Bieber say he's finally opening up about his nightmare experience with the mogul and the private hell it's caused him. The pop star says
I think it's funny they keep showing this picture of him looking like he's just a scuzz bucket. Look up under his sleeve right there. Look at all the sweat from the partying in his armpits. What a scuzz bucket.
doesn't want anyone going through what he went through, joining the industry at such a young age, claiming years of therapy and leaning on faith to battle his demons.
We have been told that Bieber and his wife have become devout Christians. The last thing he needs is this dredged up and thrown in his face. And I want to be very clear to anyone suggesting that Bieber is somehow the culprit in this scenario. I believe you are sorely mistaken.
Yep.
Bieber was just a boy when he was thrown in the pot with Combs to stew. Take a listen to what happened with our friend Jimmy Kimmel Live.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
You scuzz bucket. Yeah, Nancy, the way your face is looking right now, that's how my face is looking. You dirt bomb. You maggot box. You dumpster juice face. Diddy, you know what? So I have turned over a new leaf and I have let all the hate out of my heart. But I can still dislike people, and I strongly, vehemently dislike you, Diddy. I don't like you.
Not funny.
At all.
Okay, that's from Jimmy Kimmel Live. Back to Alex West joining us, investigative and entertainment reporter with The Mirror. I don't like seeing Bieber's picture and name bandied about as if he has done something wrong. Did you see him in that video? He's a little boy. He's just kind of sitting there smiling. And
You know what's so messed up about it with Justin Bieber is that at that age, he's 14, 15. Let's even say he was 16, but I'm thinking he's 14 or 15. He doesn't even understand life yet. He doesn't even, all he knows is he wanted to sing. And now he's got the sleaze bucket who's had him doing God knows what. So in his formative years, and I know a lot of that happens like before the age of 7, but after there's still more development in your teen life, right? In those years, I can only imagine the trauma that he has picked up dealing with Butt Daddy. That's his new name. Butt Daddy Sean Combs. You dirtbox, you.
don't like the implication of he knows better than be talking about things he does with Big Brother Puff on national TV.
My God.
What was going on that this young boy can't talk about? I'm curious, Alex.
Yeah, it's all really been kept quiet even before these allegations came out. I mean, like you said, he was told from the very beginning not to speak about it. There's a video going around as well from when Bieber was kind of given, his custody was given over to Combs, but not formally, not legally. But he spent those 24, 48 hours with him. And then Justin came out and he has songs where he says that people saw him sick and no one really cared. He's very protective of other, especially young women in the industry like Billie Eilish. We don't know what happened in those hours, but we do know it's motivated him to be more protective of other young people in the industry.
I'll never forget Alex West having a brush with greatness when I was doing Dancing with the Stars, and Bieber came one night. Nobody could get close to him. He was totally flanked by a phalanx of security, and he was in the middle, and I glanced over at him, and he was just a little boy. Let's take a look at what Alex is talking about. Watch this.
Where we hanging out and what we doing, we
him.
can't really disclose.
He looks like he's 12 years old right there. And watch what this dirt box Butt Daddy says.
But it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream, and we gonna go full crazy.
I'm going crazy.
I dislike you. Yeah, that's my face too, Nancy. I don't like you, Diddy.
Really? That's from Bieber's YouTube channel. Okay, to you, Lynn Shaw. What does that mean? A
I don't like you,
15-year-old's
Diddy.
dream.
Well, I can only imagine, Nancy. But I have a lot of questions. Where were his parents, number one?
Absolutely.
Where were all the people around the entourage of this dirty Diddy? Where
Yes.
where was everybody to protect this little boy? He's only 30 years old now. Listen, I'm in the middle of New York City. He used to continually just sell out Madison Square Garden. He was it. And he was preyed upon. He was brought in. But it's not only, I don't like him being put in the spotlight like this. We can't help it, right? It's kind of this low-hanging fruit. And this is the name being thrown about. But we hear stories of other boys that were brought into Bad Boy Entertainment right up the street from me, the old offices. And part of their audition process was you have to perform. That's the reality. So where
What?
was everybody? And I really want to put the
I think she just said you had to perform oral sex as part of your audition. I'm trying to spread love. Diddy, I don't like you. I don't like you, dude. I have disdain for you, homeboy.
Hold on, Lynn Shaw.
We gotta
I'm
talk
not
about
having
everybody.
Justin Bieber's name in the same sentence as with Combs. Okay, just back off. We keep saying we don't want him dragged in. Well, that's dragging him in. But I don't like it because he clearly has not made a statement. He's just had a new baby. He started a new life. And wouldn't you agree?
Nancy, he don't want to talk about that dark time in his life, and if I were him, I wouldn't either, because it probably went way past oral sex. It went way past that. It went so far past he couldn't catch an airplane to get back to a normal life. That's how far past it went. He's just trying to cope at this point. Yeah, Diddy, you are really a piece of sewage. But Daddy Sewage Master.
Agree, Lynn Shaw, that if he had been at any of the parties, the freak-offs, he was a child himself. Being at a party would only be victimizing him.
That's what I'm talking about, Nancy. I didn't say he had. I said we heard stories of other boys brought into the offices. That was part of the audition process. So I'm saying there were so many people involved in this horrible behavior. But Justin Bieber was the face, the biggest star, and nobody protected him at these parties. His parents. Yeah. Where was Justin Bieber's?
You know, that's the $1 million question. Where were his parents? And then why would you turn your child? Now, I know, they saw the opportunity to make money, but at what cost? At what expense to his life and his psychological traumas? His body being violated, his mind violated. Hopefully he didn't catch an STD. And if he did, one that he couldn't get rid of. Let's hope that didn't happen. But you know what? I'm going to hold you parents liable too. Because you guys had to give this dirtbox butt daddy the permission. And actually, Diddy said he became his legal guardian. So that's what y'all did. Because you wanted your son to become famous and rich to help you. I get that part. But did he ever let you guys know that there was something that wasn't right? I don't know. This is so disgusting.
Management, this Scooter Braun that's been running around, do a little digging deeper on all of these characters that made a lot of money off of Justin Bieber. Where was everybody? Why aren't we hearing more about them? The management team, the PR team, the parents, okay? Other people at these parties.
Hold on, Lynn Shaw. Hold on. Bethany Marshall, she's right. I have a saying, screw you and the horse you rode in on. I don't care about the management and the accountant and the agent.
The parents.
To hand your child over, your child, your boy, to Combs. Now, I know his dearest dream.
His name is not Combs, Nancy. It's been changed to Butt Daddy. That's who he is. The sewage dumpster juice face. That's his last name. Sewer Dumpster Juice Face. Butt Daddy Sewer Dumpster Juice Face.
Was to break into the industry. I get that.
Yes.
But handing him over to Combs for even a weekend?
Nancy, that's similar to.
Only thing I would ever hand over to Combs is a hot dog made by a dirty hot dog man on the streets of New York, and he'll know what to do with that. Outside of that, you gets nada, buddy. Dumpster sewage juice face.
Pimping this little boy out. I mean, Sean Puffy Combs confesses with every tape, every video, every interview he gives. It's right there. So obviously the mother, I think Justin was raised by a single mother. The mother is seeing these interviews too. Isn't she wondering what P. Diddy is referring to? A 15-year-old's dream, things we can't even talk about here. Nancy, what if that were your kids and you heard somebody talking about them like that? I mean,
look at this freakazoid right here. This guy, I mean, this is the head of the freakazoids. Look at this freakazoid. What does that face even mean? Look at this freakazoid. And I swear he looks familiar, but look at this freakazoid.
Okay, all right. You know what? I'm trying my best to stay out of jail, but don't tempt me.
Something else that's so important. I want to say something very important. Whoever this celebrity is, whether it's Justin Bieber or anybody else who's terrified of these tapes coming out, it needs to be clear that these are not tapes of this celebrity having sex with P. Diddy. These are tapes of the celebrity being by P. Diddy.
I want to defend Justin Bieber's mother. Now, yes, I disagree. I think it was wrong to have Bieber unsupervised with Sean Combs. However, the mom was uneducated in the ways of show business. When you have a big star come on, just like Jackson did.
You know what? And I can understand what Nancy's saying. She didn't know she was handing her kid over to butt daddy sewage dumpster juice face. She didn't know that. She thought, oh, this is an opportunity. My son, he was discovered, he wants to sing. Oh, he's going to be signed with the guy Usher, and then he'll be working with this guy P. Diddy or Puff Daddy. Oh, that sounds like, hey, it's going to make your dreams come true, son. You know what? Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah, that I could see that being a naive mother's viewpoint, because she didn't know how much of a dirt box butt daddy was. And maybe Justin was too scared to even tell her, or maybe he didn't even understand what was going on. Let's continue.
When you have a big star come along, take your child under their wing, say, I'm going to make him a star. Combs was a kingmaker. And we hear tonight that celebrities and others, potential witnesses and victims, are still afraid of his power, even behind bars. Before we come down on Bieber's mother, yeah, you may not agree with it. Was it wrong? Yes. We don't know her thinking. She's not the bad guy in this scenario.
And you know what's ill? Okay, so she said that his power is still far-reaching behind bars. Diddy's the type of dude that if he wanted to, if you get all the way out of pocket on him, he can get your family erased. Yeah. Clean out the whole family if that's what he wanted to do. Right? The stories that I've heard, yeah, this is the type, you see the judge is no longer on his case. What was said to the judge to make him get swapped out for the other judge? And then the latest I hear, Diddy's demanding that he has his own private chef in jail. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, let's listen to Nancy.
Scenario. The bad guy is whoever took advantage of Bieber and exposed him to freak-offs, if that happened. But don't worry, Tony Busby is not going to hold back. He is calling people by names and outing them. Listen.
Because it's in the best interest of the victim, we attempt to resolve these matters without the filing of a public lawsuit. And we have done that already. We've done that, I would say, with a handful of individuals, many of which you've heard of before, and we'll continue to do that. That's just the standard process that every lawyer in the United States who handles these types of cases uses, because it's the right way to do it.
As the question of how many of Sean Combs' friends knew what was going on in the late hours of his parties, an incident at a party nearly 20 years ago is resurfacing. Denzel Washington and his wife Pauletta left a 2003 Diddy party after a shouting match with Combs. It's unclear what started the row, but it ended with Washington screaming, "You don't respect anyone," before escorting his wife out. Washington previously commented on Diddy's parties, "Get out half an hour before the devil gets here."
Well, it looks like at least one celebrity A-lister, Denzel Washington, stood up to Diddy. But in the last hours, Sean Combs' mom drops a bombshell, seemingly blaming the feds for the indictment and the alleged victims. Joining me is Brian Fitzgibbons, Director Operations USPA Nationwide Security, leading a whole fleet of...
Hey, look at this guy's face. Look at these eyes. Look at the way he is intensely looking at the camera. This guy looks like he ain't playing no games with you, Diddy. Watch.
Of investigators at USPAsecurity.com, Brian Fitzgibbons, the last person that will ever give us any evidence about Sean Combs is his mother. You ever tried to get anything out of a mother? I have. It did not go well.
We're not going to get anything out of Diddy's mother. We've seen this in numerous cases, interviewing family of the person suspected of committing
No games. Let's go.
a crime, and we're not going to get anything from her.
You ever tried to interview a defendant's mom?
Absolutely. You see this happen time and time again when the defendant's mother is there blaming the victim. She's not going to say anything to help investigators. She's going to only do things to cover up Diddy's actions.
What your mother should do.
Brian Fitzgibbons joining us, USPA Nationwide Security. I had a defendant's mother. They were always on the front row, refusing to believe anything bad about the defendant. And she was set to take the stand for the defendant. When I cross-examined her, I thought she was going to jump on my back and ride me like a chicken around the courtroom. Okay? But I had to do what I had to do. She was a witness. I had to cross her. And I showed no mercy. Of course, I don't want to make somebody's mother cry. But when I'm thinking about, is it her or the innocent victims? You have to make a choice, right? So what's happening and how does that relate to this case? Listen.
Let me introduce you to my mom.
Okay.
Mom.
This is another butt daddy sewage dumpster juice face moment. Watch how DIddler butt daddy kisses his mother. This is so disgusting. It's disturbing. And his mother, excuse me what I'm about to say, she to me looks like a harlot.
Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Mom?
So the drip is the IV that he has supplied after the freak-off party. That's what he supplies after having sex for extended periods of times.
Everything's good, baby. I'll be with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you too.
Watch. You are too old, both of y'all, to be kissing on the lips. But daddy, did you have sex with your mother too? Dirt box?
She come with me to strip club. I don't care. Real. She could touch
You hear this?
the floor.
He said she can come with me to strip clubs. That is completely inappropriate. That's inappropriate.
Her palms, you know, flat. Oh.
Cheryl McCollum joining me, cold case research investigator, forensic expert. Is he doing an IV drip with his mother?
Looks like it. And Nancy, you know, I think some of those 12,000 people are going to say he had things at the mansion like an IV drip. We're going to see it over and over. These videos, the videos are going to be a money tree here. And I just want to say about these videos, this is an old mob tactic.
My God.
How do you command complete silence and loyalty? You implicate everybody there in the crime. So these people know, hey, if he goes down, I go down.
That's a really good point. I can tell you one thing, I would not be.
You know what? That's actually a smart quagmire to put everybody in with him. Because then he can be like, well, I don't know if he'll have any bargaining power because of the sex trafficking, but he may not be going down by himself.
Whoa, what? Go, jump in.
Yeah, I gotta say one thing here about these IV drips. Who in the hell is administering the IV drips? You're telling me that P. Diddy?
That's a great question, whoever asked that. So there is someone there who's probably in the medical profession. I mean, let me not be presumptuous. Let's listen.
P. Diddy knows how to start an IV on somebody. You've got people that are involved, I think, probably with at least baseline medical knowledge here. And this goes back to these drugs being administered. How do you get your hands on these drugs? How do you know why is it that he would even have IVs in his home to administer these drugs? And that makes this even more insidious here, that you have groups of people perhaps are involved in the helping professions, the healthcare profession, that are facilitating this activity. Just on its face is something that is so shocking.
Okay, I get where you're coming from regarding the IV drip. I'm talking about him taking his mother to a strip club. Now, let me remind everybody, I am not the church lady. I don't care how many strip clubs you go to. And if your mother goes with you to a strip club, that's not a felony, okay? What I care about are insinuations made by his mother. And yes, I'm talking about you, about the victims in this case. Listen.
Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, has broken her silence on the allegations with a lengthy statement slamming the, quote, public lynching of her son, while Combs admits her son is far from perfect and has been less than truthful when it comes to the violent treatment of his ex-girlfriend. Combs claims Diddy is not guilty of the repulsive allegations and the grave charges leveled against him. Janice Combs calls the numerous lawsuits against her son money grabs, and the federal indictment a result of his legal team's poor handling of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit.
Sean Combs may soon find the symbolic key to the city of Miami Beach won't open any doors. Why?
You think Sean Puffy Combs gets a flying fig about the key to the city being taken back? Reneged? That's the least of his worries. Joining me in all-star panel, this is very concerning. That, look, I don't like attacking anybody's little old mom and the grandma, but N-O to Eric Faddis. The last thing I want to hear is Sean Combs' mother referring to this federal indictment as a public lynching of her son. What about all the alleged victims?
She's trying to be a protective mother here, but I think it loses sight of the gravity of some of these allegations. And so we have the criminal case, and then we also have the civil case. Diddy has these two parallel legal actions that are set to really cripple his entire empire and potentially put him behind bars for decades, if not the rest of his life. So his mom is trying to come to his defense. I'm not sure it was the most artful way to do it.
Okay, let's just get real about this. Dr. Bethany, I need this in a nutshell. She is blaming the feds, calling the indictment a public lynching of him. And she's also claiming it's all because of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. No. She's saying that because the lawsuit was not handled privately because it went public, hey, whose fault is that? Who was running down the hotel hallway and nothing but a towel beating the HELL out of Cassie Ventura? Her son. So you don't like me picking on a grandma? Well, so be it. Bring it on, Janice Combs.
Nancy, let's reframe this entire discussion. This is not a mother protecting her son. This is a mother who potentially acted in concert with her son. We may find out that she committed crimes too, that she may have been in that room. If he took her to strip clubs, what's to preclude him from bringing her into those scenes, those freak-offs? You know how many mother-sons are put behind bars because they act out crimes together? And the one thing that we're also not mentioning here.
Yes, I do. And the last thing I want to hear, Lynn Shaw, is his mother claiming it's all the victim's fault and Cassie Ventura's fault and his legal team's, quote, poor handling of the Ventura case, and it's the Fed's fault and it's a victim's fault. Wake up, mommy. Get your head out of the sand and your butt out of the air. Look at what is happening. And be quiet. Any words of wisdom, Lynn Shaw?
Yeah, my words of wisdom are, why did Dirty Diddy's mama even say anything? Why doesn't she just keep her mouth shut and disappear? I was wondering 2 weeks ago, where is she? She's very quiet. Okay, she's hiding out. Now we hear from her. This is so typical, Nancy, always blaming the victim over and over again. And the burden always falls on us to prove otherwise. Why is this guy and his entourage and all these other accomplices right now being given such slack? We're even hearing yesterday.
I can tell you this much, Lynn Shaw. In the light most favorable to the mother in her misguided effort to protect her son, all mothers would try to protect their child. But the lawyer needs to speak to her and tell her to quit blaming the victim and the feds and the legal team and everybody but her own son. Guys, if you know or think you know anything regarding this case, the case is still being assembled. 888-373-7888. Repeat, 888-373-7888. We stop and remember Deputy Sheriff Matthew Eugene Yates, Clark County Sheriff's Ohio, shot and killed in the line of duty. Served Clark County 15 years. He leaves behind a distraught wife, Tracy, children, Anthony, Andrew, and Akai. American hero, Deputy Sheriff Matthew Eugene
My God,
Yates.
that's terrible.
End of watch. I want to thank our guests for being with us tonight, but especially to you for being with us tonight and every night. Nancy Grace signing off. I'll see you tomorrow night, 6 and 9 o'clock sharp Eastern, and until then, good night, friend.
And there you have it, people. So, you know what? Diddy is in for the fight and the ride of his life. Mr. Sewage Dumpster Juice Face Butt Daddy. And we're going to just keep you posted with the latest news on this horrible subject. My heart goes out to all of the victims, their parents, their children, whoever their family is, all of their loved ones, and stay tuned. This is the Viral News Source signing off. Have a great day. Thanks and bye.